All right, guys, so back here doing a little bit of everything at once. I had to offload some video on my phone over to the computer. So I've got the new bike in the stand, the Ozark Trail Ridge V2, M2, whatever it's called. I don't have that graphic on mine, but got it in the stand. I'll show you what we're gonna do first. Something that I usually do, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so I've got it in the stand. I just kind of rode it around here in the garage back porch area just to kind of get a feel. And man, the bees are just ridiculous the last few weeks. So just give it a quick once over. I did notice there was a couple of imperfections in the paint at the store, not a big deal. Welds look okay. No cracks, no stress, no nothing. The first thing that I'm gonna do probably, take off the kickstand. Like I told my son, Sam, he's 10, he has a kickstand. The neighbor kid wants a kickstand on his bike, and I told him, I said, no you don't, kickstands are for dweebs. My son looked at me like, I have a kickstand. So I don't like a kickstand. Most people don't like a kickstand because it gets in the way. It's noisy, it's a little bouncy. When you're out there on the trails, it's gonna drive you batshit crazy. Also, not to mention, so probably a little dangerous if it does decide to engage and flip down, catch yourself in the dirt, cause you to wreck maybe. So I'm gonna take that off. I don't have kickstands on any of the bikes. We'll just save it for a rainy day. It is a nice kickstand, and it is nice to like be able to just prop your bike up without having to let it down. But I'll end up probably taking this off. I want to get a weight on the bike, but I don't have my little luggage scale that I use. The batteries are dead. Take those little coin batteries, and I don't have any at the moment. To take a look at the routing there. I kind of bounced it around in the store, trying to hear if I can hear like cable bouncing around inside the frame, which is something typically you get with internal cable routing. It's real noisy inside there, it kind of rattles like that against the frame. Couldn't hear any of that. The only thing I was really hearing was a bit of chain and the kickstand. Everything else seems pretty silent and quiet. Might have heard some of this. There you go. You can kind of hear that. So we'll see if we need to address that or not. But I'm going to take the reflectors off. The quick release in the front, this is probably the third bike that I've had that the lever is on the drive side. And I don't know if there's a right or a wrong way, but I think that for the most part, it goes on the left side. So it goes on the caliper side. I'm going to switch the skewer out, take it out, flip it around. Do that, remove the reflectors, take the big sticker off there for the sizing and the UPC barcode, take that off, maybe add a bottle cage. I got one up there. I also have a seat post collar or clamp that I've been wanting to use that I've had. This came off my Marlin 6. This might fit here, so if it does, I'll put that on. But for now, I'm going to keep it for the quick release. That way I can adjust the seat up and down as needed. Until if I decide to get a dropper post, we may just run this. Just sitting on the seat initially, pretty darn comfy. It's squishy. You're getting a lot of good comfort there. Run through the gears, see how they shift. So we're starting up in first, drop down to second, third, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So no adjustments have been made yet. No adjustments have been made. I shifted it up and down the cassette back here. Off the stand, it worked just fine as well. I did see maybe a little bit of clickiness in some of the gears. Like there. It doesn't want to go up. So we have to get a little more tension on that cable. It does eventually get up there, so it's in there now. It's in set 8. And it hesitates a bit, but it makes it. Good. Good. Little hesitation there. Pretty good there. Good there. And back to first. All good. So it just needs some fine tuning to it. There's not a barrel adjuster back here, but there is a barrel adjuster up here on the shifter. So we should be able to dial that in without too much heartburn. So it should be really easy. Just a couple of minor, small adjustments on that barrel and you'll be good to go. And you know, like I said, I'm gonna do a hydraulic kit, Shimano MT200s, like 50 bucks on Amazon. We're out of the pandemic days when a set of Shimano MT200s was, you know, well over $150 or whatever it was at one point, super high. They're back down to kind of normal prices on that stuff. You know, some of the bikes are still a little bit expensive, but for now, I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna change the grips. I'm gonna leave the pedals because I don't think I have any extra pedals on hand. Take the reflectors off, take the sticker off, and then we're gonna go fart around with it, see what we can do. So, all right, guys. So I'm bringing back Old Faithful, this under the seat lever actuated dropper post. This is a 27.2 Trans-X, 100 millimeters of drop. It's a 27.2, but I have a shim that adapts it from 27.2 to 31.6. That's what this bike has. That's what we're gonna use. So that's gonna go in there. Then this one just goes in there and we can clamp it down. So, if not, maybe in time we'll get a actual internal cable actuated dropper post. But you know, for my purposes, I think this will be just fine. Hey guys, welcome back. So I spent a little bit of time this afternoon, this evening with the bike. You can see I've already made a couple of changes. Excuse me, I just finished dinner. But first thing, took the torque disc off, added some red anodized caps because it was missing, I think it was just missing one, but I didn't have any regular plastic black ones. I just had this set of red, so it doesn't really match, but put my wolf tooth seat post clamp on there. Also my Trans-X lever actuated dropper post. It's a 27.2 with an adapted sleeve, so it works for this bike. The seat I actually kind of like. It's squishy, feels pretty good, so we'll see how it rides over time. I just now swapped over my race face chesters from the other Ozark, just because if I'm gonna take this off-road, I want better grip. So those metal pins are gonna provide that for me tomorrow when I'm out there on the trail. Don't really need them on there if I'm gonna be riding this one. So I just swapped them over real quick. I just loosely put on the black plastic stock pedals over there on the other Ozark. I took off the kickstand. That was a bit of a challenge. It was a weird situation. So, as you know, there's two bolts that go through here. It's mounted a little bit differently than the Truvail. So I had an easy time getting this first bolt out, and then the second bolt, it was already stripped, so there was no way to get it. It's flat, it's flush. It didn't stick out like these kind of do, these brake adapter bolts, so that I couldn't get like some pliers or vice grips on it. So tried drilling it a little bit, couldn't get anything. And then eventually I just kind of started like bending it like this. And eventually it just broke free. So those threads inside the frame are probably trashed. Not a big deal. We're not going to be putting a kickstand on here anyway. And then it was the weirdest thing. I don't know if maybe I bent this chainstay while doing that slightly. I don't know. But when I went to put the rear tire back on, it wouldn't go in. It was like not going into the caliper. The disc was not going in. It wasn't sliding in. It's like the caliper was closed almost. So I ended up having to take the brake off all the way, I adjusted the little adjuster bolt in there a couple times. I actually took this bolt off to take out the slack to bring the caliper back open. Eventually I got it, so it's fine now, but it was just the weirdest thing. I couldn't get the tire back in. And then once I figured this out, I was able to get it to go in, and I put everything back, snugged everything down. I had no brake here. It wasn't working at all. The cable was moving, this was moving, it was all doing what it's supposed to do, but the pads inside were not closing. I don't know, it's working now, but I do have some Shimano MT200s that I'm gonna throw on here, just not gonna do that yet. So, race face chesters. I threw these P&W grips on here. These are pretty much brand new. I don't like them because I ordered these for the Roscoe, but I accidentally ordered the regular. So these are like just normal thin grips. I like the more, the extra large grips. So these ones, they're thin. And as I was messing with the rear tire, so I had it in the stand, I always have a hard time trying to get the tires back in when it's in the stand. So I like to flip the bikes over, do it that way. While I was doing that, scuffed up the handlebars here. Not a big deal. You can put a little bit of Sharpie there and it'll hide it, but that's gonna be it. It's all ready to go. The brakes are somewhat bedded in, but not really. We'll see how it goes. It's gonna be interesting tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be just fine. It's not gonna be as comfortable as riding the Roscoe. It's not gonna be as fast as riding the Roscoe. The Roscoe is very smooth, very quick. Even though it's heavy and big and clunky, it's very fast and smooth, fast rolling. This one, the tires are gonna help me out because they're not as aggressive. So I will make up some speed there with that. But the drivetrain, the hub, especially the rear hub, you know, that that non-high engagement. This is going to be the first time I've rode a bike with non-high engagement hubs in a long time. But it's a 9-speed. It's a 42. I think it's 1142. Yeah, 42. And then we've got the 30 up front. I was perfectly good riding the trails with the Ozark with the 105 setup, and that's like a 34 rear, 34 front, maybe. I don't know. Let me see what this says. It's a 52-36. So 36 is the smallest, and I think I have 34 in the back, which I probably can't see because it's really dirty. I do need to put a bottle cage on there so that way I can take a water bottle in the morning. But I'll be doing the first ride tomorrow at some point after the kids go to school. First time using mechanical brakes in a while. First time with not a high engagement hub. First time on a coil fork since I think it was March of 2023. I think I took the Marlin 6 when I got that. I took that out on its first run with the coil fork, and it was all right. Definitely not going to be as fun and smooth as the Roscoe, but I think it'll be interesting to see how it holds up and, you know, what we like, what we don't like. That's going to be it. We'll see you in the morning, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.